everyone is afraid to touch. Maybe it's an old server sitting in the corner. Maybe it's a firewall that's been there who knows how long. Maybe it's an application that still works, but nobody really knows what would happen if it went down. That's what we call legacy debt. And the problem with legacy debt is that it doesn't usually announce itself. It sits quietly in the background until it becomes downtime, a security issue, or an emergency upgrade at the absolute worst possible time. Today, we're going to be talking about how to identify the three oldest risks hiding in your server room. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Kinnett. I'm the CEO and founder of Eternal Networks. And here at Eternal Networks, we believe in empowering businesses and individuals with the knowledge that they need to succeed. So every Friday around 1 p.m. Pacific time, I go live on all of our socials to discuss different educational topics around technology and cybersecurity to help empower others. At Eternal Networks, we're dedicated to creating safe and secure environments for businesses and people to thrive in doing what they love. And helping to educate others on technology, especially on cybersecurity, is a key part of our mission. At the end of live stream today, I'll make sure to leave time to answer any questions from the audience. So if you have any, you can go ahead and throw them in the comments at any time. I'll make sure to leave time at the end. All the introductions aside, let's get on to today's topic. Let's start with what legacy debt really means. Legacy debt's not just old technology. Old technology by itself isn't always the problem. The real problem is old technology that has become a dependency. It's the server that runs a critical app. It's the firewall that's still in use, but nobody remembers when it was installed. It's the workaround that somehow has become permanent. It's the system that everyone avoids because changing it feels too risky. And over time, that creates hidden risk. The first risk to look for is end of support edge devices. These are your firewalls, your VPN gateways, routers, or anything else sitting at the front door of your network. When these devices reach end of support, they stop receiving the updates that keep them secure. So in your audit, you need to ask, what edge devices do we have? Are they still supported? Are they internet facing? Are they running current firmware? Are any services exposed through them that don't need to be? All right, the second risk I want to talk about here is obsolete products that can't be fixed anymore. This could be an old server operating system, right? Something running an outdated version of Windows that can't be updated. An appliance, whether it's a hypervisor or something, or a line of business application that the company still depends on. The danger here is simple. If the product no longer gets security updates, every new vulnerability that's discovered becomes permanent. You might be able to reduce the risk for a little while by implementing other perimeter protections, but you can't truly make an unsupported system safe forever. So look for anything that's past support, especially systems that you still rely on that are business critical. Also, look for systems that require exceptions to your standards, like old protocols, weak authentication methods, or maybe any particular special firewall rules for them to function. These exceptions are usually a sign that something needs attention and should be updated or replaced. The third risk is the "it still works" server. This one is sneaky because nothing looks broken. The server turns on, right? The application runs. Nobody's complaining. Nobody says anything. But maybe the basics have drifted. Patching might be inconsistent. You might have some unknown vulnerabilities there. Unnecessarily software or services might still be running. Admin accounts might have too much access, or maybe there's too many admins. Backups might exist, but nobody's really tested or restored recently. All right, and all of these things, these basic things, right, matter. A lot of serious outages and security incidents don't start with something dramatic. They start with some fundamental that was just skipped for too long. So for these servers, you need to check their current patch level. Are they up to date? Is there any unnecessary software and services running on them? Review the admin and service account permissions. Are they still accurate? Are they still valid? Are they still necessary? Make sure you do test restores of your backups to make sure your backup is valid. Implement change control so you know what's going on and what's changing on that system. And also check who has access and why. The next thing you need to do is you need to prioritize your findings. The goal of a legacy debt audit is not to create panic. It's to create visibility. You want to turn, well, we should deal with that someday, into a clear, prioritized list with a schedule. And start with the highest risk items first. These I would suggest you look at internet-facing devices first, right? These are potentially your biggest security risk. Unsupported systems, critical servers, right, that have maybe some neglected maintenance tasks. And then assign an owner, set a date that you'd like to have it done by, and move one item at a time from the too scary to touch to it's been handled. That's how you reduce risk without creating chaos. One thing that I've learned as a business owner is that technology problems rarely get cheaper or easier by waiting. Most of the time, the systems that make us the most nervous are the ones that we've been meaning to address for a long time, sometimes for years. But there's always something more urgent competing for our attention. If you're looking at your own environment and wondering whether you have some legacy debt building up, I'd encourage you to take a closer look before it does become an emergency. Sometimes all it takes is a fresh set of eyes to identify the biggest risks and put together a practical plan to address them. I'll post a link on the screen and in the chat. So if you'd like to schedule a conversation with me to talk about your legacy debt and maybe having a fresh pair of eyes come in and take a look at things, I'd love to have a conversation with you about that. I truly enjoy talking tech and strategy with other business leaders and helping out wherever I can. That being said, let's take a look and see if there's any questions from our live audience. I don't see any in the chat right now. If you do have any, throw them in there later. I promise I will get back to you on those things. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. If you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment with any questions or thoughts that you might have. Your feedback really is important to us, and it helps us to create content that's valuable to you. Also, don't forget you can subscribe to our channel. Hit those notification icons so you don't miss any updates from us. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to help you to navigate the world of tech and cybersecurity. If you need any further assistance, you can always reach out to me via DM on all of our social media, or all of our contact information is on our website at itnet.work.